gonna fire up this piece of software that runs this stuff. So what I have is this piece of software that I have been working on for a long time, and I added a couple functions and I think they're pretty cool. So I have all these connections. Everything here is a connection. So I have a matrix router that allows me to make these connections. So if I want to make a connection from a balance bus to a bunch of transformers, I do that. And what this is doing is sending relay contact closures. But it got really complicated to manage it because I had all of these different devices. So I have these power supplies. So I'm going to turn these power supplies on. Okay, I have these DMMs that I want to turn on. And sometimes I need them and sometimes I don't. Then I have a signal generator. I turn the signal generator on. Okay, so I have the signal generator on. And then I have scope. So I want to put some scope. All of that information is now about how do I connect this signal generator to this. So I route it through a bus. So I send the signal generator out. So I'm going to give it 1 volt RMS. It's on. I see it's doing something. So it gets the data. And all these commands that are happening here are just getting and parsing data. So let's get the data. So there's the data of that one. So now I want to take that and I also want to split it to a bridging transformer. So it runs a command, bridging transformer, and then on these two I want to receive 2 different isolation transformers. So what I've done is I've created a short between this bus and this bus with these XLRs here. So with that short, I can, with a click of a button, turn them on, turn them off. So if I have bus A, bus B, or my left and my right, and my left and my right, these then go to EDAX. Not going to talk about those. But in this time I've been doing all of these things, I have commands. I've generated a copious amount of commands. And what I've been doing is I've been logging the commands I send. So all those bench mux changes, I have these bench mux changes that are comma separated. Then I have all of these DMM values that are comma separated, right? So I ask the DMM stuff. So if I run this test, it's going to be slow because I've got 20 some odd channels of stuff going on. Okay, so I'm going to run this test. Please don't crash. Okay, so it sends out all these commands and it's receiving all this data. So now I'm logging all of that data. So if I want to look at I know the scopes, you can see the scopes are going up in numbers. So what's happening is the scope is getting changes and then it's receiving waveform information. So here now what I'm doing is logging that waveform information. So there's all the waveforms coming in. It says, do you want to reload this? Yes, I do want to reload this. So the scope, here's that wave information. So this is a full waveform. So if I'm going to zoom out just to give you an idea of how big of an array it is, it's an array of data. So that gives me my waveform information. So that is that. That is the interpretation of that. Okay, that's fun and awesome, cool addition, but this is where this is insane. So this is, I have created session description protocol files, SDP files for these devices. So every time it makes a connection, editing by another program. No. See, it's up to, okay, hold on. I gotta stop this test, or else it's just gonna keep giving me errors. So power supply 1, where's power supply 1? So power supply 1 is connected. At this time, it's got this name. I don't have a clock domain because I should have the signal generator as my clock domain. So it's in GPIB, the IP address of it, what bus it's on, what instrument it is, and what instrument ID it is. There's no RTP map, but there's no sync time, frame amp. Anyway, so as I configure this device and change parameters in the device, it also keeps information tags about this power supply. So the next step for me is to be able to read this and say, okay, we'll configure this voltage level, this blah, blah, blah. So this is the last known working time of this device. So if I go to my Benchmux session description protocol, so here are all the commands that I have sent to that Benchmux. So close, 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 connect, 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 close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, 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 open. So that is the current. So if I ran this as a script, starting here, and I went, it would be in the last place I ended off. It is the last description of what my session was. It is the session description protocol. So here I have the function generator, and it is keeping information about my session description. I'm working on parsing this, but it's so funny that these antiquated devices are writing these SDP files. As I start making connections, I want to create buses, because essentially all I'm doing with this router is this is a bus that feeds kind of a distribution. This is a summing point, right? Then this is a distribution, and I pull from here, and here I pull from here. So all I want to do is describe those things in a session description protocol, and then all of these relay changes will just load up from there. I got sick and tired of, well, every time I do this I have to go through the motions of launching each one of these units, like each one of these, holy moly. So I made it a very manual process to launch these. So I'm trying to automate that now, because each one of these is a component. Anyway, copious amounts of work. Thanks for watching.